Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to talk about WWE Saturday night's main event. So we're just going to get right into it here. So the top two prizes were on the line when WWE returned to NBC Network television tonight for a Saturday night main event, a primetime special headlined by Cody Rhodes defending the undisputed WWE Championship against Drew McIntyre, and CM Punk squares off against Jey Uso for the vacant World Heavyweight Championship. So who emerged with the gold, setting the stage for the rest of 2025? Let's get right into it, find out here on this channel from Salt Lake City, Utah. Tonight's match card was the World Heavyweight Championship match, the Undisputed WWE Championship match, WWE Women's Championship match, and the Triple Threat match. So let's start WWE Championship match. Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre in their third match in under 2 months. Rhodes and McIntyre clashed with the Undisputed WWE Championship at stake. If the champion Cody was disqualified or counted out, he would lose the title. McIntyre spent 3 weeks leading into the match, goading Rhodes, trying to get him to lose his cool, and he did the same Saturday night, attacking the American Nightmare physically and mentally as he sought to win the title he had not held it 4 years. Last time he held it, I believe, was during the pandemic era, if I'm not mistaken. At one point, he nearly got Rhodes to utilize the title as a weapon. When he didn't, McIntyre capitalized on the momentary distraction by catching with a Claymore kick for a 2 count. At one point, the challenger launched Rhodes for the announce table, and nearly won the title via countout. Rhodes tried for a Cody cutter, but the official was in the way, so the champion wisely teased a knee injury rather than admitting to a botch. He recovered, hit the intended move, and still only got a 2 count. Following a ref bunt from Andrew Thomas, Rhodes utilized the title belt that McIntyre introduced to the squared circle, delivering a DDT on it, and following the Crossroads for the victory. Look, I like Cody, don't get me wrong, but what's the point of having this on Saturday night's main event? You had this match already at WrestlePalooza and it was mid. It's like the food. It's like your grandma's pudding. Mid. Come on, guys. How's it possible for a match featuring the biggest star in the company and a superstar so red hot a year ago? At this time, it feels ice cold. It does. The match lost all momentum after the ref bump and moved at a completely different pace. This was a disappointing match, if only because we know what Rhodes and McIntyre are capable of, yet they have had a match bogged down by the stipulation, the ref bump, controversial finish that gave McIntyre an out. So, like, down to this point with Drew, at least, might as well just release Drew off his contract, because he deserves so much better than what he's getting. And Triple H, God, worst booker ever. Like, I love Cody, and even as a fan, this was a bad decision. He could start getting booed now unless you want to turn him heel, so good luck with that. But Triple H, dude, he is so scared to do title changes. Unless it was obvious. I mean, kind of felt obvious Tiffany Stratton was going to lose her title. But why add the dumbass stipulation if he was just going to get pinned again? It's just incompetent booking by Triple H. God, WWE just so predictable and doesn't have fun anymore. Have fun! So yeah, that was the first match of the show. Let's get into the next one. Next match, Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill for the Women's Championship. So, Jade, fresh off a heel turn. That saw her attack Stratton and injure her left knee. Wasted a little time establishing dominance at the start of the match. She tossed the champion around the squared circle. When Stratton set up the prettiest moonsault ever, she wiped her leg out from under her, targeting the, quote, injured joint. So, Cargill attempted to injure her with the steel steps, but Stratton moved out of the way and back inside, delivered a swanton bomb for a near fall. Challenger recovered, overwhelmed the champion, and delivered Jade for the victory. So, Jade Cargill wins the championship. I guess she had to win since she turned heel. You don't want to make her heel run start that way. But, I don't know. I just don't know if she brings anything to the table. She isn't a great wrestler. Can't really cut a great promo. Not much character growth at all. This was less about delivering a show-stopping match and more about further establishing Cargill as a force, as a heel, and paying off her title chase. Look, the match was fine for what it was, but Stratton and Cargill have wrestled a few times now, and their lack of chemistry has been apparent throughout many of their matches. it is time for them to move on and potentially come back to a rivalry down the road. Hopefully, the definitive conclusion means that is where this is headed, because they both need to do something else. And maybe the title picture will be different now. I don't know. But yeah, this was fine for what it was. This was fine for what it was. But yeah, nothing spectacular. Next, triple threat for the Intercontinental Championship, Penta versus Rusev versus Dominic Mysterio. So after weeks frustrating both Penta and Rusev, Dominic has to defend his title against both men. 16th time that the title has been on the line at the event and Saturday night's main event. So Rusev that dominated with his strength and fury, unloading Mysterio and applying the accolade. Penta made the save only to experience the wrath of Rusev, who caught his opponent mid-flight with a shot to the face and a big kick for 2. Mysterio attempted to slow Rusev's momentum by borrowing from Eddie Guerrero's book, only for the referee to remind him that there was no disqualifications, and thus the fate did not help him. Rusev caught Penta with a Machka kick and applied the accolade when the bell rang. He thought he'd won the title. Only for it to be revealed that Mysterio rang the bell. Mysterio brought the bell hammer into the match, where Penta attempted to use it against him, but struck Rusev. The champion sent him to the post, delivered the frog splash to Rusev, and scored the victory. So Mysterio defeated Rusev and Penta. Look, Mysterio's the star of the future. You can tell when his music plays and he steps through the curtain, the reaction they receives from the fans. He spent the last 2 years growing his on-screen confidence, and he now carries himself like a star. This, like the other two matches on the show, was perfectly acceptable pro wrestling, but it felt like a retreat of better matches that we've seen recently on Raw, thrown together to how the fuck you say that word? Satiate the triple threat stipulation. Mysterio's win was the right call, but we have to move on from this program. We're going to give everyone involved something better to do. But the last time is now tournament. For the main event, John Cena announced via pre-tape video that his final opponent will be determined in a tournament that will kick off in his hometown in Boston. A week from Monday night. He said the superstars involved will include some he has competed against, others he has not, and others seeking opportunity of a lifetime to improve their stature in the company. No brackets were officially announced, but Solo Sikoa, Sheamus, Dominic, Gunther, and Carmelo Hayes were among those pictured with Cena revealing that stars from Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and possibly outside the company will participate. This was the first instance of anything on this show feeling like a big deal to me, so we're getting that, but let's get to your main event of the evening for the World Heavyweight Championship, Jey Uso versus CM Punk. So let's get into it. So with the World Heavyweight Championship vacated due to an injury suffered by Rollins, Punk and Uso squared off to determine a new champion. Punk dominated the action early, out-wrestling his opponent, even rocking him with a go-to-sleep that leveled the former champion and sent him to the floor. Chicago native woke him up with a bottle of water and rolled him back into the ring, but Uso fought his way back in the match. Uso rocked Punk with a super kick, delivered a spear, and added the Uso splash for a dramatic near fall. As the action continued and intensified, Uso launched himself at Punk on the floor, delivering a spear through the timekeeper's position back in the ring. Punk recovered, delivered the go-to-sleep, but Uso kicked out at 2. Moments later, each competitor utilized their own signature move against each other, but neither were able to secure the victory. Punk then delivered the go-to-sleep, but Uso fought out. He trapped the best in the world in a sleeper, but Punk countered into Anaconda Vice. Punk added 2 more of his finishers, scored the win, and regained the world title stolen from him by Rollins back at SummerSlam. The most important match of the night was the best, even if it was way too finisher heavy. The crowd was red hot for both guys and would have likely been happy with either win, but Punk needed this. He's been in too many high-profile title matches he lost. Another defeat here would have tested fans, the ability to care about him in this position. That the outcome aligns well with Uso's desperation to regain gold and prove himself to the Bloodline only re-emphasizes how right the Punk win was. But overall, one would be hard-pressed to find another edition of Saturday Night's Main Event in this current run that was colder than this one. The bell was minimal. The anticipation was non-existent. It was just, I'll give it a 5 out of 10. It was just an okay show. But yeah, that's all to say. Leave a like, subscribe for more. Check some out. Peace. Leave your thoughts in the comments below.